So Bishop Tim, what is a synod?
A synod, Steph, is a gathering of God's people. So it can be a gathering that includes bishops and pastors and people who run parish groups and people who just sit in the pews. But it's actually all of God's people, or representatives of all of God's people, who can gather and talk about the church and the mission.
So the decrees are asking us to really explore ways to engage people who maybe have experienced domestic violence, or who are in prisons, or who are refugees, or people maybe who identify as being LGBTQI+. So people that otherwise, maybe just haven't felt like they've been welcomed in our church. And so that is really exciting, but it's also, again, really challenging to do that.
Yeah, it is indeed. It is indeed.
So, because these actions need to be voted on, and by an assembly of people who represent the diversity of our Archdiocese, we can only have a certain number of people present in the room. It's just the practicalities of it. So knowing that we are going to be very intentional about who is present at the Synod, how can everybody else be involved?
Well, I know a lot of people want to be involved, but we, as you've said before, we go back and say that there has already been this consultation process prior to the plenary council, and we take that as important, but that is given. And so with this small number of people who will be actually looking at those actions, some would say, well, what about us? But we would say, look, don't wait for the Synod, go out on mission. If you want to move out to some of these groups that have been marginalised and neglected, and you can nominate them, see them in your communities, then just get together and go. Go on mission with the grace of God. Don't wait for the Synod. The Synod's important, but don't wait for the Synod. Just go out on mission.